أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. الله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه، فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جداك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، أتذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي. وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. وقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جداك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، وتزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء. فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافي أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن يا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك راية طيبة كأنها راية أخي وبني أمي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم ها هو معه ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له عليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسي وخليفتي وصاحب لي قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبته يا رسول الله، أتزن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ اللهم قال وعليك السلام يا بنت ويا بزتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ برسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيد اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامة لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويزنني ما يزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سلمهم وعدو لمن عادهم ومحب لمن أحبهم، إنهم مني أنا منهم. فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمس مزيا ولا فلك يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا في هابتي هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال أمين جبرائيل يا ربي وما تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل أجلاهم أهل بيت النبوة معدن رسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبلوها وبنوها. اللهم. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. علي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا فلك ولا قمر منيرا ولا شمس مزيا ولا فلك يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله عليك السلام يا أمين الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل وأنا تحت الكساء فقال لي أبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم. فقال لي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا حوزة تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبي واصطفاني برسالة نجي ما ذكرت خبرنا هذا في محافل أهل الأرض وفيهم جمع من شيعتنا ومحبين إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وهمت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلا أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وفز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. اللهم. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله ثانيا يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبي واصطفاني برسالة نجي ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبين وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وكذا الله حاجته. فقال علي إذا والله فزنا وسويدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. الله.
हो गए बाजू कलम मश्क बचाई ना गई, हो गए बाजू कलम मश्क बचाई ना गई। प्यासा का से सकीना साका से सकीना की बुझाई ना गई, हो गए बाजू कलम मश्क बचाई ना गई। जाने क्या कह गया भाई से अलमदार जरी, जाने क्या कह गया भाई से अलमदार जरी। लाश अब्बास की सरवर से उठाई ना गई, लाश अब्बास की सरवर से उठाई ना गई, हो गए बाजू लाश अकबर पे ये लैला ने कहा रो रो कर, लाश अकबर पे ये लैला ने कहा
صلوات. जिंदाबाद मुर्दाबाद मुर्दाबाद क्या रहा खैमों में शहर के एक उदासी रह गई क्या रहा खैमों में शहर के एक उदासी रह गई सिर्फ रोने को मुहम्मद की नवासी रह गई सज गई खासिम के टुकड़ों से उधर कर बोबाला सज गई खासिम के टुकड़ों से उधर कर बोबाला माँ इधर बेटे की दुल्हन को सजाती रह गई छीनता था शेम्र चादर और ज़ैनब बार बार छीनता था शेम्र चादर और ज़ैनब बार बार अपनी चादर के मुहाफिज को बुलाती रह गई हर तमाचे पर सकीना मुंह पे रख कर नन्हे हाथ हर तमाचे पर सकीना मुंह पे रख कर नन्हे हाथ नील रुख सारों के गाजी को दिखाती रह गई क़ैद में बाली सकीना को मिला बाबा का सर क़ैद में बाली सकीना को मिला बाबा का सर मुंह पे मुंह रख कर जो सोई माँ जगाती रह गई मादरे असग़र न बैठी साए में असग़र के बाद मादरे असग़र न बैठी साए में
All brothers in faith, Assalamu alaikum. Let's begin the night by reciting Dua Shafai Maris 5 times for those who are in need of our duas. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. عما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه يكشف السوء 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 عما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه يكشف السوء. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Currently, we are still facing a deficit in our capital project funding. Our goal again is to raise 25,000 this Muharram, and we have almost 75 families in the Simcoe County. We humbly request you all, in the name of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn and the martyrs of Karbala, please join hands and support our community. Your contribution will help us overcome this financial burden and ensure successful completion of our initiatives. There are several ways you can help. First one is in person. See one of our management members to make a generous donation. And secondly, online by visiting jafi.org/donate and select capital project funding and add the amount to the donation under ZIC/ZCC. Your generosity and support are greatly appreciated. Together, we can achieve our goals and continue to improve and provide support and impact in our community. Now the schedule for the upcoming programs. Tomorrow's program will again begin at 6 p.m. with the recitation of the Holy Quran, 6:05 with Hadith Qissa, 6:15 by Marcia, and 6:30 Majlis by visiting Sheikh Nabil Awan, and 7:15 Matam, and then 7:25 Ziyarat. Next program will be on July 31st. It will be the Shahadat Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Program will begin at 7 p.m. Recitation with the Holy Quran, 7:05 Hadith Qissa, 7:15 Marcia, 7:25 Majlis by our visiting scholar Maulana Muhammad Ali Najafi. 8:15 will be the Matam, and 8:25 will be the Ziyarat. Please note that we are still seeking generous donations and contributions for the families, for the niyaz and tabarruk. You can donate fully, partially, or contribute any amount you can. And there are 2 ways to donate. In person, again, see one of our management team members, and online, you can visit jafi.org/donate and be sure to select Muharram funds for ZIC and ZCC. Next, I would like to address an important safety concern. We request that all parents and guardians ensure that their children remain under the supervision at all times. It has come to our attention in the past Ashra that some children have been moving around unsupervised. For the safety and well-being of all children and to maintain a secure environment for everyone, it is imperative that parents and guardians closely monitor their children at all times. Please understand that this measure is necessary to prevent accidents and maintain order throughout the programs. Your vigilance and cooperation in this matter is not only greatly appreciated, but highly crucial. Lastly, kindly requesting you all to recite Surah Fatiha for the marhumeens as follow: Mirza Ali Jafar, Mumtaz Begum, Shafreen Begum, Mirza Ali Hassan, Mirza Ali Feroz, Farah Khanam, and Sultana Bai Muhammad Ali Daud Nasser. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Now, in the Husseini spirit, let's all stand up, move forward, and welcome our respected Sheikh Nabil Awan to the minbar with 3 loud salawat. Allahumma salli
شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي جعل الحمد مفتاحا لذكره وسببا للمزيد من فضله ودليلا على آلائه وعظمته، ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي الذي سمي في السماوات بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الهداة المهديين، سيما أولهم أمير المؤمنين وآخرهم بقية الله في الأراضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. ورحمة الله على محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم أجمعين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم وقتلتهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكري فضائلهم ملعونين. Amma ba'd, for the happiness of Hazrat Zahra Marziyah, for the enlightenment of the graves of your marhumin, of the graves of the shuhada, ulama and siddiqeen, for the safety of the followers of Ahlul Bayt around the world, and for the safety and the hastening of the reappearance of Hazrat Baqiyatullah al-A'zam arwahun al-fida, please recite your loudest salawat. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the sake of Aba Abdullah and for the sake of our tears that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives our sins. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He forgives the sins of our parents. Oh Allah, those of our parents that are alive, give them long lives. Those of our parents that have left this world, give them a place next to Ali Muhammad in Jannah. Oh Allah, those who are ill, give them shifa'ah. Those who are in debt, clear their debts. Oh Allah, give victory to the people of Palestine. Oh Allah, destroy every oppressor wherever in the world they may be. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to go on the ziyarat of Aba Abdullah this year and every year. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq for Hajj and Umrah this year and every year. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time and allow us to be amongst his true muntadhirin, his true waiters, for the acceptance of these du'as and any other du'as that you brothers and sisters have brought. Please recite another of your loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. All praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is Rahman and the one who is Rahim. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for the kind invitation to come and speak to you brothers and sisters on this day. And secondly, I'd like to congratulate you on being able to purchase such a beautiful center. It is absolutely outstanding in its beauty. Thirdly, the boys at the back that are sitting there talking, salam, how are you? Can you come forward so I can see you? All the way back there, I can't see you. Even the one under the table. There you go, yeah, there you go. So I can see you better. Ahsan, ahsan. They recite the salawat for their bravery. Don't hide behind that screen. I can see you. At least, see, now I can see you. That's better. There we are. Sent. The ayam that we are passing through are the ayam-e-azza of Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salam. The saga of Karbala, the journey that Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam embarked upon from Rajab, culminating in its climax on the day of Ashura. And then beyond that starts the journey of Sayyida Zainab and Imam al-Sajjada alayhi salatu wassalam. the whole purpose of Sayyid al-Shuhada, of his going to Karbala, his embarking upon this journey, shahadat after shahadat, was for one single purpose. And that in reality was liqa Allah, was to meet with Allah, fulfill the aims and the objectives and the desires of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to give oneself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in its totality, to have no opinion of oneself, to truly sacrifice oneself on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you see it over and over in the whole saga of Karbala. Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, leaving Mecca, he gives a khutbah, من كان بازلا فينا محجة وموطنا على لقاء الله فليرحل معنا إني راحل مصبحا إن شاء الله. Says, those of you that have made an intention to spend your blood in our way and have made a firm intention to meet with Allah, فَلْيَرْحَلْ مَعَنَا فَإِنِّي رَاحِلٌ مُصْبِحًا إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهِ. Meaning this whole journey, if you've made that intention to meet with God, then come with me, for we are leaving Mecca in the morning. Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, his purpose, his way was for liqa Allah, to take an individual from this basely existence to the heights of ubudiyyah, to the heights of tawheed, that one truly falls in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is what Sayyidah Zainab meant when Ibn Ziyad Mal'un asked her that how is it that you perceived the death of your brother? How is it that you perceived what Allah has done to your brother? He turned around and said, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. She turned around and said that Zainab saw nothing but beauty. But what was the beauty that Zainab saw in Karbala? Amongst all of that death, amongst all of that blood, amongst all of that thirst and oppression, what was the beauty that she saw in Karbala? The beauty Zainab saw in Karbala was someone like Habib ibn Mudahir receiving the letter of his Imam and making his way towards Karbala. Along the way, meeting Muslim ibn Awsaja, seeing him, saying, Muslim, what are you doing? Muslim ibn Awsaja says, I'm buying dye for my beard. And he says, Muslim, come with me. Let me take you to a place where such a dye will be applied to your beard that it will never leave your beard until the day of judgment. The son of Zahra is alone in Karbala. Habib and Muslim make their way towards Karbala. They arrive on the day of Ashura. Muslim ibn Awsaja is the first to go out and die on the plains of Karbala. Habib and Imam al-Husayn go to his body. Habib says to his friend Muslim, is there anything that you want from me? Is there anything that I can do for you? فإشارة على بيده إلى الحسين. He pointed with his hands towards Abu Abdullah. He said, yes, Habib, only one thing. أوصيكم بهذا الرجل. I'm telling you, do not leave this man for a moment. Stay by his side. The beauty that Zainab sees in Karbala is a young boy at the age of 11 called Amr ibn al-Junada coming to the Imam. His father, Junadat ibn Ka'ab, has just been killed. 11 years old, he comes to Imam al-Husayn. Ya Imam, give me permission to go out and fight. Imam says to him, my son, your mother is still here. Go and be with her. He turns to the Imam. He says, my mother is the one that has ordered me to come. This boy rides out. Every shaheed recited the rajas in Karbala that introduced themselves. But the ma'rifah of this 11-year-old boy was such that he doesn't introduce himself. Instead, he rides out and says, if you want to know who I am, Amiri Husaynun wa ni'mal amir, sururu fuad al-bashir al-nadhir, aliyun wa Fatima walida, wa hal ta'lamuna lahu bin nadhir. That if you want to know who I am, then there is enough for you to know Amiri Husaynun wa ni'mal amir, that Husayn is my master, and what a great master he is. If you want to know who Husayn is, Aliyun wa Fatima walida, Ali and Fatima are his parents. وَهَلْ تَعْلَمُونَ تعلمون له بالنذير. What greater virtue is there than this? The beauty that Zainab sees in Karbala is when this young boy falls to the ground. They sever his head from his body. They throw it to his mother. His mother picks it up. She throws it back. She says, that which we have given in the way of Abi Abdullah, we do not take back. The beauty that Zainab sees in Karbala is the 13-year-old Qasim coming to Imam al-Husayn on the day of Ashura. لم يزل يقبل الرجليه ويديه, constantly kissing the hands and the feet of his uncle. Uncle, give me permission to go out and die. Uncle, give me permission to go out and fight. The beauty that Zainab sees in Karbala is Imam al-Husayn coming to her on the night of Ashura and saying to her, أخي Zainab, إذا قمت إلى نافلة الليل أذكريني. Zainab, when you stand for your nafila prayers in the middle of the night, remember me. The beauty that Zainab sees in Karbala is Abu Abdullah riding out for the last time. He's given everyone in the way of Allah. His Abbas lies on the banks of the Furat. His Ali Akbar lies on the earth of Karbala. His Qasim lies on the earth of Karbala. His Ali Asghar has been buried under the earth, his body covered in wounds, his face covered in blood. He sits up on the horse one last time. He looks towards the heavens. إلهي تركت الخلق طرا في هواك وأيتمت الأيال لكي أراك وإن قطعتني بالحب إربا إربا لمال الفؤاد إلى السواك. My Lord, I've left the whole of creation for your sake. I've orphaned my children so that I may see you. And even if the swords were to come and cut me to pieces, my heart would turn to none but you. The beauty Zainab sees in Karbala is the beauty of Tawheed. That annihilation in Tawheed. That annihilation in Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. That annihilation within Allah. His companions annihilated into the Hujjah annihilated into Allah. Karbala is Tawheed. As Mohsin Naqvi Shaheed says it beautifully, he says, Tawheed ki chahat to phir karbo bala chal, warna ye kali khul ke khili hai na khilegi. Tawheed na masjid mein na masjid ki safon mein, Tawheed tujhe shabbir ke sajde mein milegi. If you want to see Tawheed, then look at the sajda of Husayn alayhi salam on the day of Ashura. That is Tawheed. Total and utter submission. But my topic for these two majalis is, why is it, with all this greatness, that the Hujjah of Allah is always left alone? Why is it? I think if these four brothers can be separated from each other, they just can't stop talking. Can you move apart from each other? Thank you. You as well. Both of you, yes. Santom, thank you. Yeah, that's better. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. You'll be used to it. I run a strict ship. It's a majlis. The majlis has a respect that must be maintained, because it is our belief that the Imam of our time is here, and also Sayyidah Fatima salamullah alayha. So we must maintain the respect of this majlis. It's nothing personal. It's about the respect of the majlis. Karbala is about Tawheed. But then with all this greatness, why is it that the Hujjah of Allah is left? Why is it that in the ziyarah we address them as أيها الغريب, أيها المظلوم, الوتر الموتور? With all of this greatness, غريب الغرباء, alone, مظلوم, oppressed, الوتر الموتور, the one that was alone, on his own. What is it that causes the Hujjah of Allah to remain alone? And why is it important for us to know? Because we also await a hujjah. And that hujjah has an expectation from us. And if we do not fulfill that expectation, it may be the case that we end up going like the previous nations and rejecting the hujjah of Allah. Like the Holy Prophet said, that I fear for you that you will fall into the ways of Bani Israel and be misguided in the same way that they were, حَظْوَ النَّعْلِ بِالنَّعْلِ وَالْقِدَّةِ بِالْقِدَّةِ, that step by step in their footsteps, you too will be misguided. You too will leave the hujjah of Allah. And 11 hujjah of Allah have been left. Now remains the 12th, and the responsibility on our shoulders. Why is it that the narrations say that when he, salamullah alayhi, reappears, the Shi'as that cried, Al-Ajal, Al-Ajal, Allahumma kulli waliyik al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan, those people that cried all of that time, those that raised their hands, Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karima, who prayed for the government of the Imam, will be the first people to write to him and say, go back, we don't need you. What is this religion you have brought? We don't want this religion. We are happy with what our forefathers did. This is something new you have brought. Why? Why will they do this? Because they have watered down the religion. There's no concept of hijab, there's no concept of salah, there's no concept of khums, there's no concept of hajj, there's none of the wajibat that are there. And then I hope that all of a sudden the hujjah of Allah will come and say, my Shia, where have you been all my life? No, no. There are many people that oppose Nabi Abdullah in Karbala. Many people that stood, did not have the tawfiq of the ma'rifah of the hujjah of Allah. Because of what? Ujub, self-conceit. The first reason as to why an individual leaves the hujjah of Allah. When a person is obsessed with themselves and their opinions and what they believe and the way they act is the correct way. They don't care what the religion says. They don't care what Allah says. They want to do things their way. And they will be the ones that were there in Kufa, not wanting to get involved, wanting the ease of their lives. It is that ujub, that connection, that obsession with myself. I won't wear one of those because I think it looks good. I won't grow one of those because I think. Doesn't matter that Ali says, Al-Muhasinu zinatul rajul, that the beard is the beautification of a man, or the Quran is saying that establish prayer, or Imam as-Sadiq is saying that the one who does not pray will not receive our shifa'ah on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Not the one that does not pray. The one that doesn't give importance to salah will not receive our shifa'ah on the day of judgment. What does it mean? The one that misses one, prays one that delays one, doesn't rush towards the time of salah. It says that person won't receive our shifa'ah on Yawm al-Qiyamah. The lives that we live, we compare it to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Just now I finished the series in Bab al-Ilm in Mississauga. And the final one, I was telling them, in the Mizan, when it comes on Yawm al-Qiyamah, the Mizan, what is on the other side? Have we ever thought? My deeds on one side, what's being placed on the other side? The narrations say that the deeds of Ali alayhi salam will be placed on the other side. And you will be weighed against the deeds of Amir al-Mu'mineen. The sincerity, the depth of your ibadat compared to Amir al-Mu'mineen. And if I'm nowhere near it, I'm not even trying to be near it, I'm happy living a life that's so far from the deen, I will never ever be ready for my Imam. I can assure you. Akhirul Zaman, the Holy Prophet, he says that one of the signs of it is Masajidahum ma'mura wa qulubahum kharabun min al-huda. Says they will build beautiful masajid, but their hearts will be devoid of any sort of guidance. There'll be no hidayah in their hearts. The deen, as Imam al-Husayn says, An-nas abidu dunya wa din la'iqun ala al-sinatihim. Says that man is a slave of this world and the religion is but a taste on their tongue. While it suits them, they keep it. فَإِذَا مُحِسُّ بِالْبَلَاءِ. But the moment they are tested with difficulty, the moment they are told that this is wajib, this is haram, don't do this, you have to pay this. This is the difficulty from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِذَا مُحِسُّ بِالْبَلَاءِ. When they are tried and tested, قَلَّ دَيَّانُونَ. Then very few of them are religious. Then they're ready to throw it all away. Then they're ready to sell their deen. Because what will the kafir say? How will I live in this society? I need to compromise. There's no compromise on the deen. There is no compromise. Anyone who compromises is committed kufr. Because they've gone against the fundamental of the wajib parts of the deen. When you compromise on your aqa'id, on your fiqh, on that which is prescribed to you from Allah in the book of God, you have broken the sacred laws of God. There is no denial. There's no way out of it. This is the reality. And so when one is so self-conceited, they will always leave the hujjah of Allah. And we have no right for ajab. I have no right for pride. I have no right to think that I am something special or I have an opinion. You know, some people say, but I believe. No, nobody cares what you believe. This simple as the religion says this, do it. You don't do it, Allah, go find another religion. It's as simple as that. The religion says, well, yeah, but Maulana, it says, La ikraha fi din. Yes, if you're a kafir, you don't have to become Muslim. You become Muslim, it says now submit kafa, fully. No questioning. No here, there, Yes, questioning to understand. But questioning to find loopholes? No, unacceptable. The one that is mumkinul wujud. What is mumkinul? Contingent, existent. And then there is the wajibul wujud, the necessary existence. This is Allah. Allah is the necessary existence. As long as Allah exists, I exist. The mumkinul wujud exists only because the wajibul wujud allows him to exist. Everything that the mumkinul wujud has is derived from the wajibul wujud. Nothing that the mumkinul wujud has, he manifests from his own zat. He just reflects. The wajibul wujud is the one that is dhati. He manifests from his own essence. From nothingness, he can bring into being. We, as the mumkinul wujud, can't do that. We can only take what is already there. If I was someone that could have an opinion, or someone that could have ujab and pride and question God and the laws of God and the laws of the A'imma alayhimus salam, then they say, how do you know you are mumkinul wujud or wajibul wujud? Says, first of all, those that have become old, tell them to will their youth back. If it was yours in the first place, if you owned it, it was you, then will it back. Desire it to return. The fact that you cannot make it return means that it was not yours. The one that was wealthy and has become poor, ask him to will his wealth back. He can't, because it was never his in the first place. This is what it means to be mumkinul wujud. That everything I have, every breath that I take, every single moment that I have is only because Allah allows me to have that moment. Otherwise, there's nothing. I'm nothing. Let me explain it to you like this. Imagine a flower. Everyone has a flower in their mind? Imagine a rose. Now you have a rose. Most people have got a red one. If you're a bit morbid, you've got a white one in your mind. You have the rose, turn it upside down, turn it sideways, pull off all the flowers, the petals from it, see the stamen, put it back together, that rose with thorns, without thorns. Now imagine a chair. Take the same chair, take it apart. What's it made of? Metal? Is it made of wood? Cushion? You see your chair? What color are you going to put on it? Turn it upside down. Turn it the right way around. Turn it all the way around. You're all doing this in your minds as I'm saying it. You see the chair in front of you. Question, what happened to your rose? It ceased to exist. You see, for that moment that you imagined the rose, you were its khaliq. You were its creator. You were its Rabb. You were its sustainer. As long as you thought about the rose existed in your mind. But the moment you started thinking about the chair, the rose ceased to exist. And this is what Amirul Mu'mineen says in Dua Kumail. Says, ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك عليه. Says that I have oppressed myself. I've been audacious in my ignorance. And it is only your ancient remembrance of me that allows me to continue. Otherwise, who am I? Allah thinks about you, remembers you. Even when we turn our backs on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is still desiring that we return to Him. He says to Dawood, Nabi says, Ya Dawood, لو يعلم المدبرون أني كيف اشتياقي بهم لماتوا شوقا إلي. Says that, Ya Dawood, if those that have forgotten me, those that have turned their back on me, those that are sinning, if they knew how much I missed them, لَمَاتُ شَوْقًا إِلَيَّ, they would surely die out of love for me. So the mumkinul wujud is the one whose existence depends on God remembering him all the time. The moment God doesn't think about you, you disappear. You cease to exist because you do not exist from your essence. You exist because the divine names manifest in you and He allows you to exist. But that ujub that we have, it makes us start to think that we're something special. It makes me start to think that the ibadat I'm doing is something special. My Allah owes me something for sitting on this mimbar. I've done a great job by coming all the way out here to Barry to speak to you. I've in some way achieved and accomplished something. This is my ujub. Or when I stand to pray and I begin to recite slowly or a longer surah because someone is watching, so they may say to me, wow, what a person. Look at his ibadah. So that's the ujub. And that's why it says that the sinner must do istighfar from his sin, but the abid must do istighfar from his ibadat. Because his ibadat is not worthy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam al-Husayn salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi, in Dua Arafah, he has a beautiful line. It says, Ilahi man kanat mahasinuhu masawi, فَكَيْفَ لَا تَكُونُ مَصَاوِيهِ مَصَاوِي. Says that, my Lord, the one who's good is bad. The one who's good is bad. Then what is to be said about the evil that he does? My good actions are not worthy of the majesty and the perfection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yet, what will be said about my evil acts? Many people put all of the good that they have in their life at their own door. I did this, I achieved this, I managed to get this degree, I got this career, I made this, I bought this house, I established this, I made this Imam Baga, I. And everything bad they put at the door of Allah. They say, yeah, Allah willed for me to be ill. Allah took away my wealth. Allah did this. Allah did. Everything negative at the door of Allah, everything positive. MashaAllah, I did it. This is the problem with the insan. Everything good, he says it's from him. And every single thing, evil thing, he places at the door of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything that happens in our life is from Allah. And everything that happens, whether we perceive it to be good or bad, is something that is as a result of something that we have done. This is a world of cause and effect. Everything that you do, everything that is affecting you in life has a cause somewhere. Somewhere down the line, you did something that led to this moment that finds you right here. It's not by fluke. This world is not one of accidents or coincidences. No, everything is calculated and measured to the T. There are no coincidences. There is no such thing as a car accident. No, there's a car crash. It was meant to be. You were driving too fast. You weren't concentrating. You didn't change your tires. Whatever it is, there's no such thing as accidents in this world. Everything is measured, and everything is based upon cause and effect. And the higher you go, the more pronounced those effects become. One day a companion comes to Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says, Ya Ali, my foot is hurting. I got bitten by a scorpion. Imam Ali says, do you know why that happened? He says, yes, I didn't realize it was in my shoe and I put my foot in and it stung me. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, no, it didn't happen because of that. He says, you were in a gathering where the ghibat of Salman was happening. You should have stood up and defended Salman, but you didn't. This is the effect. This is the effect of that action. Another one of the companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Abdullah ibn Yahya, he comes to visit Amir al-Mu'mineen. He goes to sit on the chair breaks, he falls to the ground, he cuts his head. As Amir al-Mu'mineen is wrapping and bandaging his head, says, Alhamdulillah, Allah gives our awliya their punishment in this dunya. Says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong that I needed to be punished? Amir al-Mu'mineen says, you didn't say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim before sitting on the chair. You should know better, because his maqam was higher. His level of spirituality was higher. So the expectation is higher. For me, I sit on this mimbar, I can jump on it, it won't break, it's fine. Because my level, my maqam is not there. But for someone like that, it is expected as your maqam progresses, you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So at this point where I think I'm something special, then I begin to go one step further, and that is I question the hujjah of Allah. I question the wali of Allah. That's why this wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why are you doing this? Why? Look at Sayyid al-Shuhada. Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salam, when he's leaving for Karbala, he meets a number of people who are well-wishers as well. But they don't have the ma'rifah to listen to what the hujjah of Allah is saying. They're good people, but they don't have ma'rifah of the hujjah of Allah. Muhammad Hanafiya, it's the brother of the Imam. But he says to him, why are you going there? Brother, why don't you go somewhere else? Don't go there. As if he is advising the hujjah of Allah. As if the hujjah of Allah doesn't know what he is doing. Then you have someone like Abdullah ibn Umar. He's coming and saying to Imam, do the son of the second Khalifa, do bay'ah to Yazid, it's okay. That's one thing. Then you have Muhammad Hanafiya, even Umar al-Atraf, the youngest brother of Imam al-Husayn, from the wife Sahba of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He meets Imam al-Husayn along the way to Karbala. He comes and he meets the Imam, they embrace each other, and he says to Imam, where are you going? Imam says, I'm going towards Kufa. He says, my brother, don't go to Kufa. They're not loyal. For haddathani akhuka al-Hasan. He says, for surely your brother Hassan told me. And then the narration says, Fabaka. He began crying loudly. Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam is his youngest brother. He goes, Dhammahu ila sadrih. He holds Umar al-Atraf to his chest. He says, what is it? What are you trying to say? That I will be killed? Is that what my brother told you? He says, yes. He says, let me tell you one step further. حدثني أبي عن رسول الله, that my father told me from Rasulullah that not only will I be killed, but I'll be killed in a land that will not be far from the grave of my father, Amir al-Mu'mineen. So then he says to him, so then brother, why are you going? Imam Husayn says, because I will not live a life as someone that is under the thumb of these individuals that are lowly, that are dani. He's the brother of the Imam, but he doesn't have ma'rifah of what the Imam is doing. Rather, he's trying to advise the Imam along the other way. Many people were there. And so this ujab at times goes one step further. There is a nuanced example that I'm going to give you. It's a complex example, so bear with me. See, when you're in front of the hujjah of Allah, at times, even haqq must take a back seat over the command of the hujjah. Example, Musa alayhi salam, when he receives the wahi and he receives the scriptures and he gets called Kalimullah, at that moment, our narrations from Imam Sadiq says, دَخَلَهُ الْعُجْبِ. For a moment, there was a thought in the mind of Musa alayhi salam, maybe I am the most learned person in this world. Just for a split moment. He hadn't uttered it. He hadn't completed the thought. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he turns to Jibreel. He says, أَدْرِكْ عَبْدِ مُوسَى قَبْلَ أَنْ يَحْلِكْ. Says, go to my Abd Musa before he destroys himself. In this thought, Jibreel comes down and says, Musa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to go and learn from someone. A man by the name of Khidr. Bearing in mind that Khidr is not even a prophet. He's not even a prophet. But this is why Musa alayhi salam was selected as a prophet. The humbleness of Musa. He says, someone to learn from. He says, yes, he will teach you the ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the esoteric path. Musa alayhi salam humbly says, I accept. Where can I find him? He goes and he reaches Khidr alayhi salam. He comes to Khidr and he says that, I wish to learn from you. Khidr alayhi salam, he says to him, you don't have the patience. Musa alayhi salam says, inshallah, you will find me amongst the patient. You know the story. Khidr does three things. So, and at every point, Musa alayhi salam opposes him. He says, what did you do that for? And then when Khidr explains it, he says, actually, yes, you were right. So he killed the child, he built the wall, he made a hole in the boat. Every time he's doing it, Khidr alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam is saying, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And Khidr is saying to him, I told you you didn't have the patience. I told you you didn't have the patience. Until they reach the end. And there, at that point, Khidr alayhi salam, he says to him that, هذا فراق بيني وبينك. This is the place where we separate. You can't remain with me. You can't fulfill this. Question. What Musa alayhi salam was doing, was it wrong? No. Musa alayhi salam, for all intents and purposes, was doing nahi anil munkar. He was saying to Khidr, why are you killing the child? What are you doing? Khidr says, you won't understand. Told you you couldn't be patient. Musa alayhi salam, when he sees him making a hole in the boat, why are you making a hole in the boat? Why are you rebuilding this wall and hiding this treasure? Musa alayhi salam is opposing Khidr on the basis of nahi anil munkar, to stop him from doing something that he perceives as evil. But you see what Khidr knew, Musa alayhi salam didn't know. The reality is that it comes to this point that even the rightful, the righteous thing of Nahi anil Munkar must take a backseat in front of the Wali of Allah, in front of the desires of the Wali of Allah. Musa, we sent you to Khidr. We didn't send Khidr to you. We sent you to learn from him, not that he was to learn from you. Let me give you an easier example to understand. Siffin, one side Amir al-Mu'mineen, the other side the Quran. That Quran, up until 10 minutes before, was muqaddas. That Quran, they would have come and they would have kissed it, they would have held it, they wouldn't have touched it without wudu. Now that Quran is raised, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, run over it, walk over it, knock it down, even if it has to come under your feet, doesn't matter. I'm Quranun Natiq. Says, go. Now here again you see two things. Two muqaddasat. The Quran is the word of Allah. Here is the hujjah of Allah. At times, even haqq and truth must take a back seat to the order of the hujjah of Allah. And many people don't understand this. They didn't understand it with Imam al-Hassan. They said, why did you sign a peace treaty with Muawiyah? Why did you sign a peace treaty with him? They didn't understand. Later on, Imam al-Hassan explained, if I didn't sign this, not a single Shia would have remained on the face of the earth. There would have been no sign of any tashayyu'. The Shias of the time, they didn't understand. Adi ibn Hatim al-Ta'i is a very close companion of Amir al-Mu'mineen. In Siffin, in Jamal, he's with Amir al-Mu'mineen. The day that Imam al-Hassan signs that peace treaty in Adi ibn Hatim al-Ta'i, he sees him, he goes to Imam al-Hassan, he says, Assalamu alayka ya mudhill al-mu'mineen. Salam be upon the one that has made the mu'mineen zalil. Imagine. What is he saying? Adi ibn Hatim al-Ta'i in his mind is saying what? Muawiyah is a fasiq. Muawiyah is a dhalim. Muawiyah is the killer of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He's the reason for it. For he's the one that's promoting the Khawarij. Muawiyah has done all of this. And then how is it possible that now his son is signing a peace treaty with the same Muawiyah? It's wrong to be in cahoots with the dhalim. Where do you come from? It's wrong to be working for a dhalim, to be doing something with a dhalim. It's wrong. But except when the hujjah of Allah says something, then the order changes. And that's where one has to be taslim. They submit to the hujjah of Allah. But because people didn't understand this, that's why there were al-witr al-mawtur. That's why there were ayyuha al-ghareeb. Alone, there is no one by their side. This is why that Abu Abdullah stood in the plains of Karbala and he called out, Hal min nasirin yansuruna. Was there anyone to help us? There was no one to answer the call of Abi Abdullah. Husayn alayhi salam was alone in Karbala. This loneliness of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam is more pronounced at one particular point. And that is the point when he, salamullah alayhi, falls from the horse to the ground. Your Imam says in Ziyarat Nahiya, هويت إلى الأرض جريها تطعك الخيول بحوافرها. Says Husayn, you fell from the horse injured to the ground and the horses trampled your body. Imam al-Husayn's body was not just trampled once, it was trampled twice. Once while he was alive and once after his death. حويت إلى الأرض جريها تطعك الخيول بهوافرها. Husayn alayhi salam, your body was trampled. This is the most loneliest moment of Imam al-Husayn. This is where Husayn is truly gharib at that moment. Why the riwayat say that 2 to 3 hours passed that Imam al-Husayn lay upon the earth of Karbala. There are a'mal to do to be able to see the day of Ashura. You will see everything until this point. He falls from the horse to the ground. After that, you cannot see anything. Because no human being has the power, the capacity to view the state of Imam al-Husayn at that moment as he lie upon the earth of Karbala, unable to move, no one dare approaching him, slowly bleeding out onto the earth of Karbala, under the burning sun of Karbala. Imam al-Husayn lie there motionless. But there was only one concern on the mind of Imam al-Husayn at that point. Again in Nahiya, your Imam says, although you were lying on the ground, تُدِيرُ طَرْفًا خَفِيًّا إِلَىٰ رَحْلِكَ وَبَيْتِكَ, from the corner of your eye, you were focused on your Zainab and Kulthum. You were focused on your tents. That's why they called out, attack the tents of Imam al-Husayn. They said, how do we know if he's alive or dead? Shimr said, I'll tell you how. Attack the tents of Husayn. At that moment, Imam al-Husayn's body began moving. He reached for a broken spear. He lifted himself to his knees. He said, if you have no deen, وَلَا تَخَافُونَ الْمَعَادَ كُونُوا أَحْرَارًا فِي دُنْيَاكُمْ, if you have no religion and you don't fear the day of judgment, then at least be free men in this world. Don't attack my women while I'm alive. And so they turned back towards Abu Abdullah. And they attacked the Imam, and their head was raised on the spear. But then they began the attack on the women and the daughters of Ali and Fatima. The most harrowing night in the history of Islam, the night that is known as Sham-e Ghariban. That night was very difficult for Ali Muhammad, but especially for the 4-year-old daughter of Abu Abdullah. That daughter that was so attached to her father that when Imam al-Husayn wanted to go out onto the battlefield and he urged Zuljana forward and Zuljana wouldn't move, and he urged it again and it wouldn't move, so he whispered into the ear of the horse, oh loyal steed, you have taken me since this morning and I know you will be tired, but this is one last time. This rider will not return again. The horse signaled to its hind legs. Imam al-Husayn looked down, his young 4-year-old daughter holding on to the legs of the horse. Oh horse, don't take my father. Whoever has gone since this morning has not returned. Imam comes down from the horse. He holds his daughter to his chest. He says, Sakina, you must let me go. She says, Ya abata istaslamta lil maut. Father, have you reserved yourself? Have you submitted yourself to death? Imam says, what else can that man do that has neither helper nor aid? She says, Father, if that is the case, Ruddana ila Medina. At least take us back to Medina. At least take us back to Medina. Abu Abdullah says, no, my daughter, your test is here. She begins to cry. Imam says, don't break my heart through your tears, Sakina, for the time for you to cry is still to come. When you find my headless corpse lying on the earth of Karbala and the veins of my neck are bleeding, you will cry at that moment. She says, Father, then one last request. Let me sleep on your chest one last time. Abu Abdullah lays down, places the girl on his chest, and this is the last time she slept on the chest of her father, or the last time she found the chest of her father in one piece. Because in Sham-e-Ghariban she found the body of Imam al-Husayn, but now the chest had been broken, the bones of the ribs had been crushed into the back, and she laid on that broken chest of her father. There came a time on the 11th of Muharram, again she ran to the body of her father. She held on to the body of Abi Abdullah, and on the Sham-e-Ghariban, when she was there, Zainab al-Aliya came, and with love she lifted her from the body of Abu Abdullah. But now when Sakina on the 11th of Muharram falls on the body of her father, now Zainab's hands are tied, Kulthum's hands are tied, Sajjad is in chains. Who is there that will lift her from the body of her father? The Maqtal says, اجتمعت عليها عدة من الأعراب فجروها عن جسد أبيها. A group of the soldiers surrounded her and they pulled her from the body of her father, not with love, but with slaps and whips. They lifted the daughter of Husayn from the body of her father. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. ماتم حسين.
शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार, शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार, शाम का बाजार, शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार, शाम का बाजार आबिद, पाँव में बेड़ी तो के गराबा, शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार, शाम का बाजार, भूलेगा न वो मंजर नेज़े पे सरे सरवर, भूलेगा न वो मंजर नेज़े पे सरे, भूलेगा न वो मंजर नेज़े पे सरे सरवर, भूलेगा न वो मंजर बेमखना व बेचादर, बलवे में फूफी मादर और मजमाए कुफ़ार आबिद बीमार, शाम का शाम का बाजार आबिद, दरबार में सर उरिया आते हैं हरम गिरिया, में सर उरिया आते हैं हरम गिरिया, दरबार में सर उरिया आते हैं हरम गिरिया, दरबार में सर उरिया आते हैं हरम गिरिया, उठने लगा एक तूफान, महशर का सहसामा, जुम्बिश में है दरबार आबिद बीमार, शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार, शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार, बूपाई तो घबरा कर बच्ची ने कहा रोकर, बूपाई तो घबरा कर बच्ची ने कहा रोकर, बूपाई तो घबरा कर बच्ची ने कहा रोकर, बूपाई तो घबरा कर इस तश्त में है जो सर वो तो है सरे सरवर कैसे करूं दीदार आबिद बीमार शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार हाकिम ने ये सुन पाया तो और सितम ढाया हाकिम ने ये सुन पाया तो और सितम ढाया हाकिम ने ये सुन पाया तो और सितम ढाया हाकिम ने ये सुन पाया सर पुष्ट को सरकाया और बच्ची को दिखलाया चिल्लाई वो एक बार आबिद बीमार शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार कुछ शिम्र से फरमा दो गर्दन मेरी खुलवा दो कुछ शिम्र से फरमा दो गर्दन मेरी खुलवा दो कुछ शिम्र से फरमा दो गर्दन मेरी खुलवा दो कुछ शिम्र से फरमा दो गर्दन मेरी खुल सर बाबा का दिलवा दो या उसको ये समझा दो मारे न सितमगार आबिद बीमार शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार पाँव में बेड़ी तो के गराबा शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार शाम का बाजार आबिद बीमार या हुसैन